Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of our homeland, Eretz Yisroel. May Kadosh Baruch Hu, may God protect our brave soldiers, and may God return all the hostages from Gaza safely. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Edward Ben Efraim, Shlomo Ben Edward, and Yirachmiel Daniel Ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted and may their memories be a blessing. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Lech Lecha, choosing our path. Our Parsha begins by introducing us to Avraham Avinu, the father of the Jewish nation, and marking a significant shift in Torah's narrative from a universal focus on the entire world to the specific journey of the Jewish people. With Avram, God begins with the formation of a unique nation through the covenant of our forefathers, starting off with Avram himself. He is commanded to leave his birthplace, to leave his hometown and embark on an unknown journey led by God. Avram promptly gathered his camp and began this unique voyage without delay. Soon he arrived in the land of Canaan, accompanied by his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot. God tells him that his descendants will one day inhabit the very land on which he stands, promising that it will become the eternal heritage of his future generations. This covenant is not only established between the Jewish people and the land of Israel, but also serves as a testament to Avram's role in laying the foundation for the Jewish nation. As Avram was exploring the land of Canaan, a sudden famine forced Avram to journey down to Egypt in search of food. Fearing the Egyptians, who were notorious for their immorality, Avram told Sarah to claim that he was just her brother. So when they arrived at the border, Sarah claimed that Avram was just her brother, and her beauty caught the attention of Paro's officials. And when she was taken to Paro's palace, God decided to act decisively. He responded with a plague that struck Paro and his entire household, revealing to Paro that he has been deceived about Sarah's identity. Realizing the gravity of his actions, Paro quickly released Sarah and gifted Avram and Sarah great wealth and escorted them out of Egypt. As Avram's wealth grew, so did his nephew's Lot, and tensions began to emerge. The Torah describes a dispute between the shepherds of Avram and Lot, highlighting a key difference in their values. While Avram's shepherds carefully avoided grazing on lands not rightfully theirs, Lot's shepherds allowed their cattle to roam freely, disregarding the boundaries of others. Recognizing the potential harm of the ongoing dispute, Avram proposed that they part ways peacefully, and Lot chose to settle in Sodom, a place known for its moral corruption, while Avram chose to remain in the land of Canaan, the land of Israel. The Parsha concludes with a monumental mitzvah, the most important mitzvah for a young baby boy and for all men, the mitzvah of bris milah, the covenant of circumcision. At the age of 99 years old, God appears to the aging Avram, instructing him to circumcise himself as a means of establishing an eternal bond, a covenant between them. And this act was to be a symbol of commitment not just for Avram but for all his future descendants. To this day, at each bris milah, we recite the blessing L'hachnisa bebrusay shel Avraham Avinu, to enter him, the baby, into the covenant of Avram, our forefather, highlighting this unbroken chain of faith and dedication. However, a question comes to mind. When describing the resolution to the dispute between Avram and Lot, the Torah uses extra and interesting words. The pasuk says, "Hi aloi kol ha'aretz lefanecha." Isn't the whole land before you? Says Avram to Lot. "Hi parid na me'alai." Please separate yourself from me. Im hasmol ve'emina ve'im hayamin esmal ila. Let us separate, and if you go left, I will go right, and if you go right, I will go left. But why does the Torah specify right and left? Why doesn't it simply say, if you go, I will stay, and if you stay, I will go? Must both of them depart from their current locations? Wouldn't it make more sense for one to leave and for the other to remain? Furthermore, it appears that the suggested resolution was not even fully enacted. Only one of them seems to have actually traveled Lot, while Avram remained and chose to remain in Canaan. The pasuk states, "Va'avram yashav ba'eretz Canaan, v'Lot yashav ba'arei hakikar, v'yahal ad Sodom." And Avram remained in Canaan, while Lot settled in the cities of the plain, pitching his tents near Sodom. If Avram stayed in Canaan and only Lot moved, then why did the initial resolution suggest that they would both need to travel to resolve their dispute? Rashi, Rav Shlomo Yitzchaki, the leading Torah commentary, gives a simple explanation. He writes that Avram was implying to light that although they needed to separate, they didn't have to be distant. Avram assured light that he would stay close by and ready to support him if needed. And this sentiment is later proven when Avram comes to light's aid after Sodom was conquered by the 4 kings. According to Rashi, the specific words, "If you go left, I'll go right, and if you go right, I'll go left," underscores that despite their dispute, Avram and light remained connected. It was Avram's way of showing that even if they went their separate ways, he would not abandon his nephew light. However, the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, Rav Moshe Al-Sheikh, gives a deeper and more profound explanation. He writes that simply staying or leaving wasn't enough for Avraham Avinu. Rather, he chose to actively go in the opposite direction from light as a message. Although he would support light, Avram wanted to be clear that he does not endorse light's chosen lifestyle. Avram was signaling that he would choose an entirely different course from light, reflecting his commitment, his dedication to Kadosh Baruch Hu, to God. It would not be enough for Avram to simply remain where he was while light went on his own way. Instead, Avram needed to choose his own distinct path. And we see that God rewards Avram for this by promising the land to his descendants. And we see this because immediately following this story and this narrative, God establishes a bris, a covenant with Avram, instructing him to look in every direction, north, south, east, and west, because this land would belong to his descendants forever. Avram's journey was now not only a personal path, but a legacy, ensuring that his children's place in this holy land would be for all generations. And according to the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, Avram journeyed throughout the land and settled in the holy city of Hebron, making his chosen path and his way of life unmistakably clear. Rather than stay put while light left, Avram actively set out to demonstrate that he had a path, that he has specifically chosen a path aligned with God's will and a path aligned with God's purpose. Both Avram and light embarked on journeys, but vastly different intentions. Light moved towards immorality, corruption, and the depravity of Sodom, choosing a life detached from spiritual values. In contrast, Avraham Avinu chose a journey as a testament to his dedication to Kadosh Baruch Hu and to God and his holiness and oneness, and his unwavering faith in his sovereignty. Avraham Avinu set the tone for his descendants, for his legacy, a commitment and a covenant that he passed down to all of us today. L'hachnisa bebris shel Avraham Avinu, to enter ourselves into the covenant of our forefather Avraham Avinu. This profound and powerful lesson from the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh is timely in light of Israel's struggle and war for survival and society's shifting values. It is not simply enough to avoid the wrong path, but one must actively choose a path of truth and a path of purpose. Avram was challenged to make this choice, and so are we, to clearly define our direction, our intention, and our commitment. In a world marked by a clear battle between good and evil, our choice must be decisive and firm. We must choose God and his way of life, as Moshe Rabbeinu commands, "Ubacharta b'chaim l'man tichyu ata v'zarecha." Choose God, choose life, so you and your children may live. In our daily life, and given the recent election, the most divisive in history, it is crucial that our values remain evident and clear. Which direction, which path do we set for ourselves? What principles, what values, what perspectives shape our lives? Do we follow conventional thinking and popular wisdom, or do we break away, choosing God's way of life to find success beyond our wildest expectation? It is through a conscious choice that we not only define ourselves, but lay the foundation for all future generations. I will conclude with a profound quote from Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, of blessed memory. To be a Jew is to inherit a faith from those who came before us, to live it, and to hand it down to those who come after us. To be a Jew is to be a link in the chain of generations. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.